All right, I'm doing an early video today, so about noon or around quarter to one, I guess. And I've known about this for a couple days, and I'm learning about it now. But I've actually always been watching. There's always things in the Bible we're watching and waiting for the end, because I don't predict anything. I don't think that prophecies are for predicting. I think that prophecies are for watching and waiting. So I don't make predictions. I'm just curious. When could this be? When could that be? When would the Lord return? I don't know. But I'm always watching and I'm waiting and I'm always studying. And we find out that Israel is now in possession of five, I do believe five, red heifers. Now, why red heifers? What is a red heifer? A heifer is a female cow. And in the Old Testament, they needed an actual red heifer. Now, red heifers have been extinct for like 2,000 years. So, as of a very, very short time, Israel is now in possession of five legitimate red heifers. These were, I do believe, they were actually raised in Texas, here in the U.S. And I guess a priest literally went, an Israelite Jewish priest, he went to Texas to confirm these are actual red heifers, and they got five. Now, why is this a significance? Well, let's look in Numbers chapter 19. We'll start in verse 1. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord has commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never be yoked. Now, never be yoked means never worked, and that's one of the things that has to qualify for a red heifer to be unblemished. One is it has never been worked, has not worked. Back then they'd have cattle and stuff. They'd put a yoke on them so they could plow fields and things like that. The oxen and things. They can't be branded because even in modern times, farmers still brand cows, and they can't have a tag in their ear that would also make it unblemished. It would make it blemished as well. So these cows, I do believe, were born and bred for the reason of the red heifers that the Jews would need. Now, this is sacrifice. This sacrifice to come is prophecy. Now we see they need a red heifer, and it says what they're going to do in verse 5 of Numbers 19. And one shall burn the heifer in his sight, her skin and her flesh and her blood with the dung shall she burn. And it's saying in 9, and a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and lay them up without the camp. In a clean place it shall be kept for the congregation, the children of Israel, for a water of separation. It is a purification for sins. This is a purification. The red heifer is to be burned up into ashes. And what's going to happen is it will be a way to cleanse the children of Israel for God. So long has the Jews been seeking God. You understand the importance. We do not have the temple right now. The temple in Jerusalem is not rebuilt. But we see, let's go over to Ezekiel chapter 36, and we're going to start in verse 24. Ezekiel 36, we'll start in 24. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and I will bring you unto your own land. Who's this? That's God speaking to the children of Israel, the Jewish people. This is in the clear back in the Old Testament book of Ezekiel. This, I'm going to tell you right now, is future prophecy. Right now. And it says, Then I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols I will cleanse you. Now, sprinkle with clean water. How do you do that? You need the red heifer. And able to do that, it goes back to Numbers chapter 19. And I'll continue. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. Now, when is God going to put a new heart in someone? Now, heart is not like the beating heart, as we know today. The heart is like your soul, basically, because when the Bible talks about your heart, it's talking about your soul. I'll give you a new heart, and it says, and I'll give you a new spirit I will put in you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. And ye shall keep my judgments and do them. Now, get ready for the next verse, of verse 28 of Ezekiel chapter 36. And ye shall dwell in the land that I give you to your... I shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. When is Jews going to go back to the land? And when they're going to be God's people? And they're going to be changed, change their hearts, their souls, change them from what? To believing who Jesus is. They're going to change their mind. They're going to change everything. God's like, okay, you rejected me 2,000 years ago, but now you're going to see me for who I am. I'm your God, the Messiah, Jesus Christ. The Jews will then see that. The Bible says that right now, the Jews are blinded in part right now from the truth because God blinded them from the truth. But soon tribulation is for the Jews. And they're going to go back and they're going to realize who Jesus is. Wait a minute. Jesus was the Messiah. Because for 3.5 years through tribulation, now tribulation 7 years, halfway through is 3.5 years. They're going to realize, because they're going to accept the Antichrist as their Messiah. They're going to find out halfway through, like, wait, he ain't the Messiah. It was his Jesus. We killed him 2,000 years ago because God blames the Jews for killing Christ. So we see how that is. And again in verse 28, and you shall dwell in the land that I give to your fathers, and you shall be my people, I will be your God. When is that? The millennial kingdom. God promised the Jews a promised land. It was promised clear in the beginning. It was promised to them. But they kept leaving God, and they went about their own way, and they went into sin, and they did their own thing, and they kept going back to God. God kept bringing them prophets, and prophets say, listen, here's why you're messing up. You got to go back to God. Here's how you do it. And that's what the Old Testament's all about. But then the Messiah, God showed up. They killed him. That's it. God had stopped. God wasn't done with them. He stopped for now. Because God's going to go back to the Jews, and the Jews will be saved. And what a blessed day will be when the Jews come to Jesus. So we see, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. That is in the millennial kingdom, because Ezekiel 36, 24 through 28 right here is future prophecy. And how? Then I will sprinkle clean water upon you. How are you doing this? With the red heifer. Now, here's the interesting thing. The temple in Jerusalem's not built yet. It's going to be built because we see in tribulation it will be built. Even God actually told John to get, if I can find the verse real quick, right here in chapter 11, actually, in Revelation chapter 11, we see that God, not God, one of the angels tells John to measure the temple. Well, it's not there. It was destroyed in 70 AD, but look right here, it says, and it says, Revelation 11:2, but the court, we'll do 11:1. And there was given me a reed like a rod, and an angel stood saying, rise and measure the temple of God. Where's the temple of God? It's in Jerusalem, but it's not built yet. But we see in chapter 11 in tribulation, Revelation, tribulation, it's built. It's not there right now. So this is future prophecy. It says, and measure the temple of God and the altar and them that worship therein. Who's worshiping the temple? Jews. It says, but the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles in the holy city. Shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months. 42 months is 3.5 years. Now, my theory within this is this, it says, but not the court which is without the temple, leave it out, to measure it not, for it is given to the Gentiles. I'm speculating, but I'm wondering if the court where the Gentiles is might be the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, because I don't see them moving that anytime soon. But you don't know. I've actually had thought for a while maybe the Antichrist would make that peace treaty with Israel, and maybe, I don't know, I'm still speculating again, maybe that the Antichrist, the man of sin, would be a Muslim, and he would talk the Muslims into removing their temple. I don't know. But it sounds like the temple, the Dome of the Rock, which is the Muslims' building there, it says, but the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And I'm wondering if that was the Dome of the Rock that's kind of in there, because some people think that the temple is built directly on the Dome of the Rock where that location is, but people are starting to wonder now, like maybe the original temple was just over a little bit, and the Dome of the Rock is where the court would be of the original temple. So we'll see. We're going to find out pretty soon, because they got some red heifers, and that means that they're going to start building their temple soon, but they're going to have to find a way to do it, because apparently like the government there doesn't allow that and things like that. So I'm not real clear on the government over there in Jerusalem and stuff like that, but right now Jews are not able to rebuild. And once they can rebuild, what's that mean? To the Jews, we can start sacrificing again and finding favor again with God. But what's the first thing they're going to do when they build the temple? Red heifer. The red heifer will be sacrificed, burned up, and its ashes will be used for a cleansing of the Jews, and that's what they want. Little do they know that's not necessary today, because Jesus was the final sacrifice for all sins. We don't do that today. But the Jews don't believe in Jesus yet. But they're going to come back. They're going to come back. But that's interesting, because just short, very, very short time ago, we find that the Jerusalem now is in possession of 5 legitimate red heifers. They've been extinct for almost 2,000 years. I don't know how they did genetics and made it happen. I don't know. But this is shocking. I cannot believe people don't believe the Bible. I'm always watching. I'm waiting for prophecy to happen. Here it comes. It happens again. And this isn't prophecy fulfilled. It is in a way. But it's about to be. I mean, to me, in my mind, it's like prophecy fulfilled because I was expecting it. But this is to fulfill prophecy of what's coming. Yes, tribulation's coming. I don't know when. The rapture of the church, the pre-tribulation rapture is coming. Yes, but I don't know when. But all I got to say is keep watching and keep waiting, because the Bible has been unfolding as we speak since the beginning. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope it helps you to study. And if you're not saved, please get saved. Because if I need to scare people to get saved, I'll do it. But I'm only going through what the King James Bible tells me. You know what I mean? So if I wasn't saved right now, I'd be pretty terrified. So get saved. The gospel is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 1 through 4. We have faith in the blood atonement Jesus spilled for us on the cross. We have faith. We trust that Jesus died and rose again the third day for our sins. It's all about what Jesus did, not what we did. We trust in what Jesus did, not what we do. But that's my video for now, and I'll talk to you later.